Well, John Robinson joins us in studio to talk about the St. Paul's Boys Choir School. John is the music director, master of choristers at the only Catholic boys, I have to say this for Father Reed, boys choir school. Father Dre also, in the nation. John, thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Jay and Father Reed. It's a great
And
pleasure.
you've been on before.
Yes,
and
yes.
we've done a special with you.
Exactly.
And you guys have, so you're used to Catholic TV.
I feel that way, yeah.
Tell us about the Boys Choir School.
So St. Paul's Choir School, as you've said, is the only boys Catholic choir school in America.
Is
it's
it really?
Amazing, this amazing institution that trains boys in grades 4 through 8 to sing the beautiful music of the Catholic Church. And it's not just a singing school. We have a regular academic program as well, which runs throughout the day, as well as the choir rehearsals, and we sing Mass every day in the church in St. Paul's. So that's really how, I think, how the choir gets so good is in service to the liturgy.
I want people to know, John, that you are uniquely suited to be the master of choristers because of your background. You were once a chorister yourself. Can you tell us about growing up in this kind of tradition of choir school?
Yes, absolutely. So it's an ancient tradition. The choir school tradition is a really old tradition dating back to the very early years of the church. And in England, there are many, many choir schools left there. And so having grown up in one, it just felt like the perfect opportunity to come and bring that beautiful Catholic music culture to the United States as well, and to be able to work here doing that and making this beautiful music. And I remember as a choir boy that we would occasionally make recordings, and so when we were able to make Christmas in Harvard Square, the recording that the choir school at St. Paul's has made recently, it was a feeling really of going full circle and coming back to something that we'd done before, but in an extremely professional and beautiful way, as you can see.
And that CD was a huge hit too, right?
Absolutely. In fact, at the end of the year, it was in the top 5 Billboard Classical, and it's still in the top 20 this year as well. So it's a big national deal. Yeah.
Superstars.
While we're talking about that, just because I have the CD in my hand, people can buy this fairly easily.
They can. They should. Yeah, exactly. They should really go to aimhigherrecordings.com, because that's a place that gives them links to places like Amazon, iTunes, as well as St. Paul's Choir School website. So aimhigherrecordings.com is a great place to go for that.
Well, music is so essential to our Catholic identity. Why is it so important to continue a tradition of a boys' choir school?
It's a great question. I think that you think about St. Augustine and his famous words, bis orat qui bene cantat, he who sings well prays twice. And you think that this is something that's been going on since the very early days of the church, and it's just God's gift to us, I think, is this beauty in music which is so appealing, not just for everybody already worshipping in the church, but it also draws people in. It's such a strong evangelical tool as well, this beautiful music that's been growing and a tradition that's been built on for so many hundreds and hundreds of years. And you know, at St. Paul's, we're working with boys who are so young, they've never heard Palestrina or Victoria before, or whatever it is. And so to be able to introduce them to that music for the first time, and then to be able to have them in concert and in public events, and being able to bring that music to everybody else, to a wider audience, and the joy that the boys feel about experiencing it for the first time, I think translates really well as well into audiences and congregations.
Being a member of the advisory board for the school, I know firsthand that this is probably the busiest time of the year for you, because you not only the boys are not only going to school and also preparing for Christmas at home and sports and everything else that they're involved in, but you have a whole series of concerts. We've already missed one. Can you tell us what's coming up at St. Paul's?
I'd love to, yeah. So this coming Sunday, 3 o'clock, we have a big celebration of Christmas concert there, which will be the choir. There'll be organ, brass, percussion. It's a big celebration. The following Sunday, 3 o'clock as well, we have the Benjamin Britten Ceremony of Carols, which is this, excuse me, this beautiful piece for boys' voices and harp, which they do every year. And then we have, at Christmas itself, of course, we have liturgies then. We have a 7:30 p.m. Mass on Christmas Eve, which will be the boys and the men, and then an 11 o'clock Mass on Christmas Day, which Father Reed mentioned earlier.
And then vacation.
And then
Yes.
well deserved. Those 2 3 o'clock concerts, though.
Yes.
I presume there's more information about tickets and all on the website.
That would be a great place to go, to stpaulchoirschool.com, to read more about those 3 o'clock concerts. There are tickets available on the door. There are tickets available online. You can just come to those events.
Great.
Well, you certainly are very, very busy now. What is a typical day like for you?
Typical day, it starts with the boys' rehearsal at 7:50 in the morning, so 10 to 8. The boys are there warming up, doing an hour's rehearsal before school begins. School begins at 9 o'clock, so they have that hour's rehearsal, a short break, and then into school. Then the morning is taken up with completely normal academic lessons, so math, English, science. We also do French and Latin with them, and history as well, and theology, of course, taught by 2 of our priests at St. Paul's, which is a great experience for the boys. And then we have an 11 o'clock rehearsal for the choristers and 12:10 Mass every day. So the boys all go to Mass, and the older boys whose voices are changing serve at the Mass, and they lector as well, they do the readings. And the younger ones attend the Mass and listen to the choir singing there. And then the afternoon is given over to academics, and they do sport as well. We have a gymnasium at St. Paul's. You know, it's in the city centre, so it's difficult to get outside, but inside we have a gymnasium where they play, at this time of year, silent dodgeball, because they're resting their voices. So
No yelling.
No yelling, exactly. They're doing sports in silence. It's a little bit eerie, but very
And when
very
does the day,
efficient.
so what time does the day end for them?
The day's at 3:30, and then they have optional after-school activities as well. So there's a debating team, there's a drama society, things like that going on
Must be a
too.
very special young man who decides to do this, because you have to be dedicated.
I think dedication is the key, absolutely, and also the parents. That we have wonderful parents at St. Paul's. We're so blessed that they're getting the boys to all these extra things, especially at this time of year. Just, you know, another very early morning for them, and then a late end. And I think they would all say it definitely pays off, that commitment to this beautiful singing and such a Catholic environment as well is something that really pays off for the parents. They all love doing it.
I'd like to just get back to the CD just for a second, because some of the music that's on the CD people will hear at the concerts the next 2 Sundays, as well as at Christmas Mass. Can I ask you, what's your favorite of the 19 tracks on Christmas in Harvard Square?
They're all so great. You know, they range from Gregorian chants at the very early days of the church through to arrangements, contemporary arrangements, sung by me there as well. My absolute favourite is the setting by Victoria of Omanium Mysterium, which is Victoria's a Renaissance composer, and it's just got this amazing depth of emotion about it that the boys all appreciate too. If you ask them what their favourite is, it's funny, one thinks that they might go for something loud and fast, but they generally go for this really expressive kind of music.
Do you find too that the boys are, as they're learning this, their appreciation for music grows too?
Certainly, the appreciation for the context of the music as well. You know, we'll talk about, if we're doing, say, a piece by William Byrd, we'll talk about the struggle that Catholics had in England in the Tudor period, and the recusancy, and the fact that Byrd was writing music for Catholics who were really in hiding. And so we tried to give the boys some of the background to the music as well as singing the music itself.
I don't think we appreciate also how difficult it is in terms of harmony, because when you hear something like this that is so beautiful, you don't understand behind the scenes that they have to learn about harmonizing and what parts they have. It must be very intricate.
It certainly is, yeah. And the boys all take music theory as well. So if you think about all the elements that go into making a recording like this, there's the whole sort of training of them, both in singing and in terms of understanding written music as well. And especially, I think probably, in fact, most of all, understanding the text that they sing. Because it's very easy to sing something in Latin and just sort of read the words and then not really sort of translate it. But we try to make sure that they really do understand what it is they're singing about and how the music helps to make that more beautiful and clear.
And where's the website? What website can people go to learn more?
Uh,
To learn more about the school, they should go to stpaulchoirschool.com, and more about the CD to aimhigherrecordings.com as well.
Well, John, thank you so much for being with us as always, and all the specials and the rosaries. We have a rosary with the boys. It's always great to have you on.
Great pleasure
Thanks,
to be
John.
here.